Hello, everyone. Welcome to Chronic Thoughts, a podcast where two dudes talk about deep life shit. So, say hi, Toby.
Hello, peoples.
We are talking about some very deep life shit this week, um, which the topic is the election. Blah! Like,
Oh,
literally,
yeah.
blah is part of the title. Um, we just want to go through like what we thought about the whole process, like the candidates and just the experience of it. And we're talking about the U.S. election. If any of you are international, which you probably are.
Yeah.
Um, so, first off, I guess we just want to talk about our opinions on Hillary. So, do you have anything to add first?
I mean, um, so I'll just say like in the beginning that like I never really like followed the elections before until recently, because this
Mm-hmm.
became such a huge thing and like, voting for a leader became a lot more prevalent. Um, but Hillary, I knew she has a history of just being really like wishy-washy with her, with what she says, with what she stands for. And there was that whole scandal about the emails. I remember that being a big thing. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just really confused about that because I'm like, why? I didn't really understand why it was such a big deal with the emails.
Exactly.
And like,
I know, I mean, sorry, go
that's
on.
okay. And I mean, there's also like the whole thing like when she was running against Bernie, um,
Mm-hmm.
people kept saying that like the only reason she won was because she kind of like bought out some votes or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like there was just some corruption there. Um, I heard that part about her, and again with the emails, like it just seemed like the media kind of blew that up out of proportion as they usually do.
God.
I know.
I'm, yeah, when that happens and it's just the same topic, that's because they can't dig up any other shit on someone, though, so.
Yeah, I mean, like she, obviously she wouldn't be my first pick to if I had to choose, but obviously she was a better pick than Trump. But
Yeah.
if we really had the choice, we would go Bernie like all the way. But,
Oh my god, yeah.
yeah.
And I know, like, it just seemed very weird that he didn't get more nominations, other than that, like, there was some predisposed idea that he was just not going to
Uh
win.
huh.
And that just deters people from it. I think that's what ended up happening to Hillary at the very end, too.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, half of this, I was just really frustrated because I could tell half of the time people were just like making up shit about her,
Mm-hmm.
or they're saying this stuff and they're blowing it out of proportion, and I'm pretty sure it's like sexist.
Mm-hmm.
Like I swear there's so many politicians who have done the exact same thing.
Uh huh.
And then right when this is happening, like, guess who really bought out the election? Because Trump, he's rich. That's
Yeah.
his thing. There's nothing else about him. He doesn't have anything else under his feet other than him being
Mm-hmm.
rich. Like,
I know.
but I mean, um, I was fine with Hillary. I was diehard Bernie fan
Yeah.
because Bernie, just like, I went to one of his rallies. Did you go?
And I couldn't.
Yeah. Um, it was amazing. I've never been to anything like that that was like, first of all, so
Uh
civil
huh.
and like people were kind to each other, but second of all, like, having to do with something so political has never been that positive for me.
Mm.
So that was a huge like distinction.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of I get weird feelings about certain things sometimes, and as we were leaving, I had this feeling like I'm I just have a weird feeling about this election. And this was in like, what was it? It was like June or May or something.
Okay.
I just felt like it started to take a turn like right then. And it was right before the primaries for California to see if Bernie would really be like make it or not.
Yeah.
Um, and it just felt weird. I felt like there was going to be a lot of like darkness in the
Uh-huh.
future, and that's not something I would ever just like go for and just be like, "Oh yeah, that's what I'm going to think about is going to happen."
Right.
It just like it just felt like there's an aspect of like people just not being ready for this. Like there's so much for people to learn. People weren't ready for such an amazing person to be elected.
Right.
Yeah, but okay, and that we want to talk about both candidates. So
Uh,
obviously we both hate Trump,
yeah.
um, but I mean when you're marginalized and attacked by someone, why I personally don't understand why you wouldn't hate him in that
I
case.
don't.
But
I mean, uh, do we really need to like list everything wrong with him? Like, cause there's
no,
just so many things. I remember when I was driving home from work near this community college, there was just this entire like the entire lawn, like where facing the street was just lined up saying like "women for Trump" or like "Trump is for a woman" kind of thing. And I'm like, oh my god, are you kidding me? Like he's literally like, and that was like
mm,
right after I saw his thing about what he said on like that reality TV show about like him basically like sexually harassing like women and saying it was okay.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
that was literally right after that, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, did you not see what he said about that?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I people don't care,
They don't.
and it. But I think you know what you brought up something that like I don't. He's stupid to me,
Yeah.
which is, I don't call people stupid, but he's legitimately like there's a lot of things wrong. He has a lot of mental disorders, which a lot of certified, like, very skilled, like, well trained psychologists and psychiatrists have, like, diagnosed him, at least, like, publicly. And I don't know about in his personal life. He would never, like, he's asked a bunch of people to sign contracts or whatever, not to say anything, which happens in business. But the worst part about this is not the man, it's the people following
Yeah.
him. Like, I think that's where the real horror comes from, because that's like what really hit home. Like, what you're saying, like, you see those posters in the line, it's like, I can't fathom how one person would say that, and then all of these people.
Yep.
Like, that's what the real disturbing aspect of it, because it just his whole platform encompasses like so much hatred and just wanting to like hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very direct in a way, which is so weird.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird.
Like
I don't know.
I even had like other people tell me like, oh, he's not serious about what he says. Like he's obviously not gonna like do any of the things he says when he becomes a president because there's so many like checks and balances like that kind of system in place. But I'm like, but why would you even think about voting for someone who can like freely say those things in the first place? Like who
Yeah,
thinks it's okay to say
exactly.
those things? Like yeah, maybe he can't do it when becomes a president, but that doesn't mean like it was okay for him to say any of that.
No,
So
I mean yeah, and I don't get why the hell people ever took it as a joke.
oh
I
my
mean,
god, yeah.
it was painful the entire time. I'm like, can we stop laughing about this? This is not funny.
It
Like, it's literally not funny. It's disturbing.
yeah. Stop being a joke
And his
altogether.
yeah, I mean his rhetoric is literally that of Hitler. Like if you match up statements that he said and like how he wants to like label certain people and kick certain people out is literally how Hitler's platform started.
Yeah.
Like to the T. It's totally creepy.
Like I don't know, man. And like I saw so many like Trump posters around my neighborhood, so I'm like that was terrifying to see. But I mean that wait, hold on. Yeah, like I don't know. It
Should we move on?
Yeah, so what was the next point?
Well, I guess this kind of does tie in how we felt election night. Like,
Oh,
what was
yeah.
it like for you as you were seeing the votes come in and like all that?
So during election night, my sister was had the electoral votes up, That's
Mm-hmm.
what it is. Yeah, like she was showing like the numbers that were changing and everything, and I saw it. I don't. I already forgot what the numbers were, but like I
Yeah.
saw like the gap between like Hillary and Trump just growing, and I'm like, immediately I thought we lost. Like Trump, it's set in
Yes.
stone. So I just went to bed because I have to go to work early the next
Oh
day.
my god. You're like, fuck
Yeah,
this.
because it was a
Fuck
Sunday.
America.
It was a Sunday,
Well,
right?
and yeah, and we were waiting for like one, like there's three states and one of them was your state and I was totally thinking of you. I'm
Oh
like,
my god.
I wonder if he's watching this right now.
Yeah.
But oh my god. No, that was literally the worst.
Yeah.
I don't. And like, I guess for people who aren't in America, this is like part of politics that gets really confusing. Like, part of our constitution is that, because some of the checks and balances, which this is bullshit. It doesn't. It does the opposite of checking and balancing. Um, is there's an electoral college, so there's like representatives that represent districts. So there's like each segment of America is split up into states, and then it's split up into districts from that. But no one knows really what their district is. It's just like you're in your state. So each state has a certain amount, and then they cast the votes. So their votes are more official, and then all the citizens that have like freedom of speech and your voting right, don't always necessarily get represented because the electoral college basically like each state kind of picks one. Like they'll sort of vote, but it's just more like in a majority type of thing, and it's not. Oh, they don't always wait till citizens respond. So in this particularly, Hillary definitely won, which is the most ridiculous part. But um, they didn't wait to see
Yeah.
at all. It came in before everything, and it was just like a terrifying margin.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I don't even. Cause I was like alone
Really?
election
Oh
night.
my god.
Yeah, cause my partner was supposed to come and like sit with me, but I think they were just so disturbed. They were sitting with their mom at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just sitting there by
Oh
myself,
my god.
and I'm just like thinking about all of the horrors because I'm like really empathetic type of
Yeah.
person. There's not a single person I know and care about that isn't affected by this,
Right.
and it's just like the reality of that night was like showing that that many people voted to like against so many people,
Yep.
and like it's to such a deep level because some of it is just so it's like I would never imagine someone to say that in the past like 60 years or more.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
mm,
obviously, like, racism it's always a thing. Sexism is always a thing.
mm-hmm.
It just, it's more prevalent now because now that Trump's, the new president, it kind of validated everything. So,
Yeah,
I mean, does that go into our next
well,
point?
it does, which is the aftermath.
Yeah.
I mean, I expected this to happen, that there would be some type of like hate crimes or something, but it was pretty vile.
And pretty
People,
immediate, too.
yeah, the next day there was just like, and I'm half of the media didn't report on
Oh,
it,
yeah.
but of
Of
course,
course not.
people were saying stuff. I mean, because it's all minority groups, so of course they're not gonna report on it, but people were definitely like talking about how they're being harassed, or like very openly. Like there's tons of videos that surfaced within a day. I swear to God, it was insane.
Yeah.
It was like hellish. Like it was like hell dimension
I know.
brought out. Like people were ripping hijabs off of women and like assaulting
Oh
them
my
and all
god.
this stuff like openly, like in public. I don't even.
Because I think it's okay now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and people saying that there's like a middle school. Sorry, my dog's
Oh.
sniffing at the door. There's like a middle school that said that, and oh, this is I didn't get to tell you
Oh
about
my
this. This is
gosh.
so disgusting. Um, my partner's younger sister is in middle school,
Uh-huh.
and there was an article that immediately came out because the substitute teacher, the day after the election, told a whole group of sixth graders that their parents were going to be
Oh
deported,
my
and
god.
they can't do anything about it.
Like, are you serious? Like, why?
I'm so serious. I'm not even kidding. And that was in Los Angeles. So I mean, I cannot imagine the Midwest. Like, there's no
Oh hell
way
no,
I'd
no.
ever go
I'm not.
like
I'm not touching
anywhere
there.
near there. No, no.
Like, even like cause New York is a very it was a blue state too, and like I have a friend whose friend is in New York, and that friend was in the subway with another friend, and suddenly this guy, like, they were in the subway and this guy just like punched out that friend because he was being too openly gay. Like, this was
Oh,
in New York. Like,
Jesus. In New York, yeah. I mean, and out of all places, you want to go to probably like New York and California.
mm-hmm.
But, and the amount of hate crimes happening even there in both places are obscene. Because you know it has to be like at least I, an exponential amount more
Mm-hmm.
everywhere else.
Oh my gosh. Like, thankfully I've never personally like experienced this, cuz like where I work everyone's really like accepting, very liberal. They're really chill. They know that I'm trans. So, and they're
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh yeah, it's totally cool that you're trans." Um I feel like after elections, like, they were really weird around me. That might have just been me being paranoid, but it just kind of felt off because literally almost I think only one other person is minority in that workplace and everyone else is like white. So I'm just like, so I think they
Yeah.
felt a little weird around me because of that.
Yeah, I get that. That makes sense. I mean, people are just like feeling super awkward, and you never know. I've been shocked who voted for Trump. And people will tell you. That's what's so weird about this election. Like, before it used to be a taboo thing, like, oh, I won't tell you
Yeah,
who I
yeah,
voted for.
yeah.
Like, but now it's like, people are just like bragging about it in the worst way,
I
like
know.
talking, justifying their hatred for other people.
And I just don't know how to respond to that. Like, mm, I like me and my friend had this conversation too. Like, we can never like how could you ever have like get along with somebody when you have different political views, especially with something like this. Like, if you know someone's a Trump supporter, like, how could you possibly like even be friends with them? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
I mean, yeah. Because it's the level of what he's said and done is just so disturbing. It's like deeply disturbing.
Yeah,
It's not something you can brush off. Like, it's stuff that literally traumatize people.
yeah.
Like, I knew at least 3 people who told me they physically like threw up
Oh
that
my
night
god, yeah.
from just being disturbed and traumatized. Like, sexual assault victims especially.
Mm-hmm.
That, because that is like, and now people are just going insane because they think like that's more acceptable, and it already is something that people get away with, like a disturbing rate.
Mm-hmm.
And this like brought it all out. Like, oh great, that's totally what we needed
I
more.
know. Like, it was bad enough. We
Yeah.
weren't in equal footing, and now we're just even lower than we were before.
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh, I guess like the personal thing. I did tell you this. Like, it wasn't a like not a hate crime, but like the clinic that I go to. I think I mentioned this, and oh yeah, I did mention this in a previous video. The whole like my clinic is getting like kicked out of their
Oh,
insurance because
yeah.
Trump wants to repeal Obamacare and stuff like that. Granted, it wasn't perfect because when Obamacare came in, my family actually got kicked out of our insurance.
Mm.
So it wasn't perfect, but still, like, there's an act under Obamacare that says, like, non-discriminatory care towards trans people. Um, but now that's getting repealed, so my clinic's getting kicked out. They promised not to lose, like, let go any of their patients, but
Mm-hmm.
how long can you, like, stay in business,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So that when I got like a text message announcing that, I like physically like freaked out I was just like in my car, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, it just all kind of like dawned on me, like this is real, like all this is happening, like
Yeah. Because that was right after, right?
it was soon after, yeah, like a
Mm-hmm.
day or two, and so yeah,
That was that was the worst. I swear to God, those are like some of the worst days I've experienced. They're just like a nasty feeling all around.
yeah, uh, I don't know,
I don't even know.
yeah, you know what like do what that is.
There's just so much you could get into.
I know.
I mean, I guess like, and I just feel like there's too many personal things that I could talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But like on election night, since I was home alone, I was like on Facebook
Yeah,
because I was so horrified that there were so many votes. I was like, okay, please, someone out there be upset about this too.
yeah,
Like this is a big deal.
yeah,
Um, Especially because like what was extra horrifying is like Congress is all um, Republican too,
yeah,
which is normally like it's like okay, fine, but the problem is this is like such a rampant thing, and it's clearly a contagious type of thought
yeah.
because like people are getting accustomed to hearing this stuff, so that it becomes normal, and that makes people more likely to agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets more and more dangerous if people at the very top are saying that, and that's all you're hearing all the time. So if they're already somewhat on the fence, like towards that, and thinking that's what people want, they're gonna start voting for it, and they have nothing stopping them, like no protection.
Yeah.
That was like the most disturbing part, I think. Is I don't think it could have gone worse.
I
And then his picks for the cabinet.
yeah. I've been reading up on that too. Oh my gosh. I'm like I don't usually keep up with the news because to me it's just depressing all the time. But ever since
Mm-hmm.
this, I like downloaded an app that keeps me up to date with current events, um,
Yeah.
and I'm just like reading all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my god. Oh,
Well, it's because yeah, there's something horrifying every day. That's
exactly.
why.
I mean, like obviously the biggest problem is his VP, right? VP. Yeah.
Yes, the vice president elect.
Yeah.
God damn that. I hate him so much. I'm sorry. I don't like hate many people. This dude like went out of his way to like hate on women and like trans people and LGBT people. He's like obsessed with LGBT people. And he's obviously racist. That all kind of like
Everything.
comes with
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's like a package
Yeah.
deal. Like if someone's racist, it's like okay, probably not gonna tell them I'm trans. I'm just gonna run
I know,
away.
right? Basically, yeah.
um, yeah, no, but because he's the one who created the Religious Freedom Act,
Mhm.
in Indiana,
Mhm.
and multiple states copied that. That's why there's like HB2 in North Carolina.
Okay. Do
That was like,
Do you want to explain what that is for some people who might not know?
yeah, the Religious Freedom Act is basically like overview. Uh, People have religious freedom to refuse service, so that means for like anything from like food, housing, in insurance, like privately held things that are run by the state. He even created like a loophole because now that same sex marriage, I mean, I don't consider it same sex, it's really like same gender, but okay.
Yeah.
Same gender
Yeah.
marriage is legal in the United States. He created a loophole because Indiana will fine you like thousands of dollars to get a marriage license certificate signed if you have a same gender partner.
Oh, okay.
So he's like accomplished things on a level in a
Yeah.
way. Like those are his accomplishments.
Uh-huh.
Um, and the Religious Freedom Act can be used in racist ways as well.
Right.
So,
Of course.
and then in North Carolina they did the same thing, but HV2 is more like about the bathroom stuff.
Oh my
We can make
god.
we don't even have to go there.
Bathrooms.
I'm just
God.
I was literally like I just brought it up in another video that I'm releasing soon, and I
Okay.
just like had to stop the video and be like,
Just take a
No.
breather.
We can Yeah, it was too.
It's so
I think
dumb, in my opinion.
it's
It's
so
it's so
dumb.
dumb.
Yeah, but like that trans survey that came out shows that it's having an effect already before it blew up in the media. So
Hmm.
I don't even want to know how it's been throughout 2016. The stats for that,
Hmm.
like, mm,
Just
dying
breathe.
inside.
Yeah, just take a breather.
No, but yeah, he wants to make it so you have to, like, he wants to shut down all Planned Parenthoods, which
Oh my,
non-coincidentally are for LGBT people also,
yeah.
and um, most of what they do is screening for cancer and helping homeless people.
Hmm.
Um, but they're focusing on like the 10% of what they do, which is abortions, and it's legal abortion, so they have limits placed on them. It's not what they're trying to say it is, but
Right.
it's interesting.
Oh my gosh. My friend actually told me that she saw a Tumblr post about these people who like donated to Planned Parenthood, like this organization, and they
Yes.
put his
Oh my
name
god.
under the donor as the
It's
donor.
my favorite thing.
It's so
Wait,
funny.
have you seen this new? There's a new one out this
Oh my
week.
god.
There's like a Mike Pence impersonator who's walking around like in a suit
Yeah.
jacket and his
Oh my
underwear.
god.
And then he's like collecting money to send to Planned Parenthood. I'm like, I love this so
I'm like, this is
much.
the best way to get revenge on
Oh,
somebody. Like,
yes. Yeah, because they were saying that they would send a thank you. So you write
yeah,
Mike
exactly.
Pence's address, and they send a thank you.
So he would just get a bunch of these like thank you letters to Planned Parenthood. He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That if there's anything good about this election, it's that they got like a ton of donations.
Yeah, yeah.
I yeah.
I, I thought that was the funniest thing in the world.
It was, yeah. That was amazing. That's a good, like, a really good protest.
Right? Donating to a good cause.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, in LA, like on the first week, someone made a giant paper mache Trump head and burned it.
I wish I was there for that. I would have just,
Like in,
you know, thrown
yeah,
torches.
yeah. Because it was like, it was in downtown LA too, and it was this huge, like, massive, it had to be like 10 foot at
Oh my
least,
god.
Trump head. I'll put a picture if I can find one.
Yeah.
But
Here's the
yeah.
picture. If we put that in.
Jesus.
But yeah, and like the other, obviously, for those who don't know, there's the other big thing that Mike Pence stands for, which is like conversion therapy for gay people.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, I can't believe he's so obsessed. Like, do you want to explain what conversion therapy
Yeah.
is?
So basically, I'm very generally like he believes that like if you give like conduct electroshock therapy, like send um with electric impulses to the brain, like then
Mm-hmm.
you can have them stop being gay, stop being homosexual. I'm just like, but oh my god! And obviously, like there's a lot of problems with that. You can like kill them, you can like turn them into a pickle. It's torture. It's torture. It's literally just torture.
It's torture.
Like
It's legal
it's legal
torture.
torture, which is stupid. And he believes in that.
Yeah, yeah.
He's for that,
Um,
which terrified me. I'm just like, as soon as I heard that Mike Pence was going to be VP, I was like, if he somehow ever legalizes electroshock therapy for gay people, I'm like, I'm out. I'm not living in this world where that's okay. I'm peacing
mm-mm.
out. Like,
Yeah, I know. That's like because it's on children too. And the worst part was he was saying like he was gonna he was suggesting that all of the funds donated to HIV research should be donated to conversion therapy. I'm like, okay, so first of all, you think that everyone in the world with HIV is LGBT,
oh
which
my
is
god,
totally not
it's not
true.
true.
And then, second of all, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Like this is a disease that kills people, and he wants to use that to kill more people
Yep.
in a like Holocaust type manner.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Interesting. That's a word for it.
Yeah.
Eh,
Because a lot of people, like, from that, they have, like, even if they make it out okay without killing themselves, they eventually do kill themselves, usually.
for a different reason. Yeah.
Yeah, or, I mean, that stuff stays with you. It's trauma,
Yeah.
and the more trauma you have, the more likely.
Hmm. So, yeah, I just really don't know. And he's like, and just with the articles that I'm reading, uh, Trump has good relations with like Putin from Russia, and his new Secretary of State, I think, is like the CEO of Exxon, like the huge oil company, who's also really good friends
Mm-hmm.
with Putin. I'm like, oh well,
Yeah.
I see, and
I know. Yeah.
he wants to get like the whole nuclear, weaponry up and running again. And I'm like, oh boy, that's great. Like,
I think we'll just like destroy the earth. I don't think we're already like just from the climate change that they don't believe in.
yeah, he's
Um,
pulling funding from research of in climate change, and I'm like, are you stupid? Like, oh my god.
and when I saw that, I was like, um, the world now has like an expiration limit like within view. Like,
Yeah.
it changes so much for me. I don't know.
Like, I don't know if this is
It's
dramatic of me, but
interesting.
I'm just like, imagining like, oh my god, what if this entire country just becomes like a war zone? Like,
I, with how they're talking about it, I don't know. It seems very militarized. So,
so I'm like, what do we do then? Like, I wouldn't know how to live in that kind of world. Like,
mm-hmm.
yeah,
I mean, we were already lucky that we didn't have to,
yeah.
but U.S. has a habit of creating that in other places.
Oh, yeah. Shall we look in our U.S. history textbooks? Like,
Jesus. Or like what's happening currently.
currently, Jesus, yeah, in the Middle East. Uh,
Mm,
so yeah, it's just a shit show right now with this whole thing.
it's yes, yes, could not be worse. And then every time there's someone that they're like, "Oh, this happened," and then he's like, "Oh, I don't need intelligence briefings. I'm already intelligent," and
It's like full,
which
like,
that's never happened in the history of presidents. But then also he's making Mike Pence go to them,
oh
and
my
I was
god.
like, okay, there's like a clear pattern because everything is going to Mike Pence. Like he's practically the president, and I swear to God, all the cabinet choices are Mike Pence's choices
I would not be surprised, honestly.
because Trump even said he didn't know a lot of those people before or
Oh my
something,
god.
or he like I don't know. And then I Pence, if you look at everything that they've talked about, it lines up exactly their beliefs, like with Pence's beliefs and not necessarily Trump's, because sometimes Trump seems like he's okay, but he
Yeah,
has like five different opinions that he'll talk about at different times on one topic. So
yeah. I, uh, I don't know, honestly.
yeah, I mean, because they usually use people like him, uh, like other people who want power, use someone in a position of power that isn't that
Yeah,
aware of their surroundings, to do like terrifying things like this.
I mean, yeah. Trump is stupid enough to be like a perfect puppet, a very powerful
Yeah,
puppet, like
yeah, clearly.
because he has money and he has power.
Yeah, I mean he like tweeted about someone like Boeing, like against them, and then their stocks plummeted immediately. They like badly,
Ah, shit.
and that's like clearly like, he tweeted about it, which is
Yeah,
stupid,
I know.
and then it's like very damaging to people. Like you can't do that with that in a position of power.
Hmm. But it happened.
Hmm.
I know. Oh my god. Or else I saw this other thing recently about like how I think Trump wanted something with about his data team. Like to find people that he can deport, basically. But he wanted to use like companies like Google, like Twitter, and stuff like that, and thankfully, they refused. But I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what's gonna happen to them with that backlash? Like, because they refused to.
Yeah, there's a certain point where they have to if they have like a federal warrant or
Yeah,
something.
probably.
Because I think Facebook already cooperates with like a lot of federal
Yeah,
government stuff.
that I
But
knew.
Jesus.
I know. I'm like,
And then there's like I saw something where this one group of people like were in this program, like a government program that was allowing them to get housing so that they had some type of documentation so that they could stay
oh,
here.
okay.
But instead of that helping them now that he's elected, that they're now on a list.
Oh my
Like
god.
then they can be deported, you know?
Yeah.
And where otherwise like unless you're on a list, they it's hard to figure out everyone
Mm-hmm.
unless you're like literally going in people's houses like they did with Jewish people in World War
Yeah.
II.
Yeah.
And LGBT people. Oh, and they're part of their cabinet. I can't deal with this.
I'm sorry.
Part of their cabinet, like one of them was saying that the Holocaust was not real.
Oh no, it's one of those.
Yeah,
It's one
and
of
he was
those.
saying that he saying a bunch of derogatory things about Jewish people.
That's
Multiple,
great.
multiple of them did though. So I'm like, yeah, this is like, how are people ignoring this?
I knew that there were people who didn't believe in the Holocaust because I heard about that when I was like in high school or something, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can you not think that that was a thing? Like, I knew there's people like that, but I can't believe there's people in Congress like that. Like, that is not reassuring in any way.
That has not been a thing for a while.
I don't. I don't.
Well, it's. I mean, even if they are, it's not. No one's been open about this because
Yeah.
that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh, so it just brought out a whole group of nasties.
I know. Literally, it's like the ugliest side of people just has just come out,
Mm-hmm.
and it's terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, that's what. Because I was thinking about this video, and like, we're talking about all this
Yeah.
stuff, and there's like no positive reframe. Like, the positive reframe almost is just to talk about how bad it
Yeah.
is. Because that's all you can do. I mean, like, I can't say what's gonna happen or
Yeah.
if anything really good about that.
Right. So, I mean, the only thing we can
uh,
do is just like deal with things as they come, and obviously, like, be there for the people who don't believe in this stuff and like, might be victimized by it, protect them in any way,
mm-hmm.
talk about it
Mm-hmm.
with them, stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then half the time I feel like people are literally not aware of this.
I don't know how.
Like,
Like,
yeah. I mean, a lot of people can turn a blind eye to things, or they're just secretly extremely racist. Like, my mom had a friend who turned out being really disgustingly
oh, that's
racist, and
great.
she was showing me the text, like, River, I don't know what to think about this. And I'm like, I know what to think about that. It's like, no.
Absolutely not
No.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, not that it's just like my mom had never encountered someone saying that directly.
So she was just
Like,
shocked.
yeah. But I mean, from someone that she'd known for so, like, a long
That's so
time.
disheartening.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
There's multiple people that, like, and then, like, one of my family members,
Uh-huh.
or multiple of my family members, that one of them said something really derogatory,
Uh-huh.
and I, like, responded using expletive language on public Facebook, which
Oh boy.
I don't do. Like,
Yeah.
I there's not a single person that I say that to. I don't think you would have seen it. Like,
Yeah.
I can hide behind a computer screen and type that
Yeah.
easily. Like, yeah, you would have seen it at
Yeah.
least. And I don't say that to
No,
people.
yeah.
So yeah. I basically said to never talk to me again. But yeah, that deserved it. And then other people were trying to tell me why it was a good
Oh
thing,
my
and I'm
god.
like, okay, you clearly voted for him and feel guilty for that you voted against my rights, so just stop talking
Yeah,
to
I
me.
know.
Like, instead of saying sorry, they were just saying, like, oh, you shouldn't be upset about
Oh my
it.
god. That's the worst thing to say.
I'm like, really?
I'm
Hmm.
glad you're in a position that you don't have to worry about it, like,
Yeah, right?
but other people do, so you're kind of being a jackass by not being sensitive to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't I don't blame you for being like that. And
Yeah.
honestly, I think that was a mild reaction compared to what other people would do.
I know. Well, at least it was on the
Yeah.
internet. Yeah.
I mean, how should we wrap this up? Like, honestly, other than
I'm
just kind of
trying to
like just
think,
being sad.
just like, well, I guess like concluding things. I'll, I don't want this to be like totally positive reframe because I
It's
don't
not a
think,
positive thing, so.
yeah. So I just feel like at least there's people out there who disagree with all this disgustingness.
Hmm.
Like you and me.
Yeah,
So if you needed an
yeah.
example, yeah,
And I'm pretty sure,
here's
like,
your
and
example.
I'm pretty sure, like, everyone at Tapastic's, like, on board with what we're saying, like, and I'm sure they have more things to add on to this. Um, but yeah, like, there are people, like, who think like us, and obviously don't agree with what's going on here, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, part of the important thing is just like letting people know. So it's like if the more we talk about this and not brush it over, it's like that it's gonna be okay. The more it's like
mhm, yeah,
not gonna keep happening in like from people being ignorant.
yeah. Like, this isn't something we should be sugarcoating, like,
Mm-mm.
because it can't be, honestly.
No, no, it's past way past that level.
Yeah. So, as yeah, so it wouldn't be right to kind of end this on a high note because there is no high note right now that it would be appropriate to land on. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
so I,
Just sorry, go
no, no,
on.
no. I guess like we can like just have people like share their thoughts like in the comment section for whoever wants to talk in the comment section.
Mm-hmm.
Like share their thoughts. Share whatever you're comfortable with sharing. I guess. We would love to know like what your thoughts on it are. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I guess like like an issue was like some people don't know about what's going on, so spreading awareness is also a very helpful thing. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, like I don't know what else should we say.
Um, if you feel like getting involved with something, then get involved.
Yeah.
That's like really therapeutic. And then surround yourself with people who aren't going to put you down
Hmm.
or try to harm you
Yeah,
with
of course
their
not.
voting skills. Their lack of voting
Lack of
skills.
voting skills. Lack of just,
Oh,
writing that check in the ballot.
yes. Or stabbing it.
Stabbing it.
Punching the holes
It's like,
furiously.
this is the person I want, not this one.
Oh my
Oh, I'm
god.
sorry. This very side thing. Like, um, I didn't tell you that like when I went to go vote, like so I live in the suburbs. Okay, like so there's like I'm like
Yeah.
surrounded by white people. So when I went to the
Uh,
voting place, you know how you have to like sign in, kind of like give your name and everything.
mm-hmm.
So when I registered to vote, it was before my legal name change. So um,
Yes.
my old name, I had to like sign in with my old name. Um, but
Which
yeah,
sucks.
but like, and my old name is like it's Christina. It's like a really girly name. And like this old white lady was the one who like was looking for my name. And I said, "Oh,
Oh
yeah."
no.
And so when she saw me and saw like what my old name was, she was like, "You're Christina?" Like she gave me a weird look,
Oh
and like she
my
even looked a little
god.
terrified.
That's not
I was like, "Are you
good.
serious? Like, why is like it? Like, why are you scared?" But like, obviously, like I didn't show that in my face. I was just like, "Yes, this is me. Like, thank you. Have a good day." You know, that's just how I was outside. But inside, I was just like, because she was just staring the whole time while I was like signing my name, and I
That's
walked off, and I was
scary.
like, "Lady, like, relax. I'm not gonna do anything."
Yeah, because some people deny trans people their vote, like the voting people like that. So that's so. But so much was so weird about that. I totally forgot about that. Like I'm pretty sure my vote didn't count
Oh my god.
because, and I'm wondering if it's because of my age and everything, because I put that I didn't want a mail-in ballot 2 times now. I put it on the primary
Hmm.
votes, and then um, I changed my name legally,
Yeah.
and then at the DMV, they're like, "Oh, do you want to change your thing?" Like they had my thumbprint. Like
Oh.
it's like federal. Like you're changing the whole thing. So it said like, "Do you want to sign up for mail-in voting?" And I said no. Like I clearly remember writing
Yeah.
that. So I got my packet in the mail, and it was a regular packet. It was not a mail-in
Oh
packet.
my god.
And then I go there, and they're like, "You had a mail-in packet." I'm like, "I didn't because I twice
Yeah.
said I didn't want to, and it still keeps putting it like that's weird." And then like 5 other people in LA that I know had that happen to
Oh
them,
my gosh.
and they didn't have a mail-in ballot at all.
What the
Like
heck?
never signed up for it.
Yeah.
And it was just weird. Like what I don't know. And then because the problem is then you get a provisional ballot and those don't get counted for at least a
Oh
week.
my gosh. It's great.
If they get counted, yeah. If they, because you have to like forfeit your mail-in ballot, and in return, I don't even, but I never got a mail-in ballot ever. I don't know why that
That's really
happened.
weird.
Yeah, it was sketchy.
That is really sketchy.
It was it was pretty sketchy because of how many other people I heard that happened to. Like one person posted it on Facebook, and then tons of people commented saying, "Hey, wait, that happened to me too."
Oh, so that's really suspicious.
I was just weirded out by it. Like I don't know what that means. It just seemed strange.
Yeah. I don't know.
Especially because we live in a conservative. I live in the suburbs too, and there's like half of the hill that I live on is rich white people.
Uh-huh.
The other half is like middle rich white
Right.
people. So we're yeah, they they have posters up for this dude who's very like he has very disturbing viewpoints also. And I think I don't know if he got elected or not. I can't remember. He was like for our district or something. But they could see that I'm a Democrat, so I don't know if that would change
Uh-huh.
anything. So who knows? It was just weird.
Ugh. But yeah, sorry. I like that just popped into my head, so I had to say something.
No, I totally forgot about that.
Oh my god.
That's scary though, because some people are freaky.
I know. Like,
Like you never know what people are gonna do.
I mean, it was like an old lady, so I'm like, I could take you. No, I'm just kidding. I would never punch. Don't punch old ladies.
Punch out an old lady.
I would never. But like, oh, I was like, worried she's gonna like create a scene or something. But thankfully, she didn't.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to like interrupt our closing statement. But yeah,
No, if that makes sense. I could put that in somewhere else anyway.
yeah, just like edit this portion out. Let's move it.
Yeah. But okay. I guess to conclude everything,
Mm-hmm.
just as a summary, there are people who don't agree with that stuff. Like you're not alone if that's how you feel. And there are hopefully things that we can do, but we mostly just have to sit back and wait
Yep.
and tell people what's going on if they don't know what's going
Uh-huh.
on. Um, and in terms of our podcast, they'll probably be like half serious and half
Yeah.
like normal. And this one's a serious one,
Mm-hmm.
clearly. It's Toby's turn next
Yeah,
time. So, what's the topic gonna
it's
be?
gonna be about school and the school system. How stupid it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just like a quick thing, like so me and River went had like two very different college experiences because River right now
Mm,
is in school and he's in an art school, and I graduated from a regular like college. So you'll get two different like experiences and stories. So, and if you have any questions about like art school or like regular college, you can like ask that kind of thing too, and we can touch bases
yeah.
with that. So
Yep.
there's gonna be a lot.
So, I think people should just comment or like send something to us on social media if you have a question about schools. We'll probably like put something on Tapastic maybe, but yeah.
So that's gonna be our next video. And yeah, so thanks you guys for watching. You want to like do the outro?
Yes. Oh yeah. Okay. So like, subscribe, comment, and check out both of our channels because we're posting these on separate channels. We have 2 podcasts per month, 1 per channel. So subscribe for future updates and thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Oh.